right, Raiders fans, it's time to dive deep into the latest developments for our Las Vegas Raiders. And I promise you, there's a lot to unpack after that wild Week 17 matchup against the New York Giants. First off, let's talk about the win. Yes, the Raiders secured a major victory, and it feels like a pivotal moment for Raider Nation. After watching the game unfold, it's clear that the team is moving in a direction that could set them up for a top spot in the 2026 NFL Draft, and that alone has fans buzzing with excitement. This week on the Raiders Report, we are breaking down the three biggest talking points after the Giants game. And let me tell you, this is all about celebrating victories, no matter how small or significant they might seem. You'll see plenty of just-win energy, the kind of energy that makes fans believe again, even after a tough season. The reality is that the Raiders are locked into a top 3 pick, which is huge considering where things were just a few days ago. There's a lot of chatter around statistics, the strength of schedule, and draft positioning, and many were under the impression that the Raiders had a guaranteed top 2 pick. However, the situation has shifted slightly, but in a way that still keeps the excitement high. The key takeaway here is that, no matter what, a top 3 pick is confirmed, and that's exactly what Raider fans have been waiting for. This sets the stage for a lot of discussions about what the team should be rooting for as the season closes out. There's a lot of math involved when you start considering tiebreakers between the Raiders, the Giants, and the New York Jets, but here's the simple truth. If the Raiders lose to the Kansas City Chiefs, the number 1 overall pick is theirs. That's a simple equation in the draft order, and right now, the Raiders are at the top of the list, followed by the Giants, the Jets, the Titans, and the Arizona Cardinals. The numbers matter too. 0.542, 0.531, and 0.548. Those decimals may seem small, but they play a huge role in determining draft positions. If the Raiders manage to beat the Chiefs and the Giants falter against Dallas, then the Giants could leapfrog to number 1, pushing the Raiders to number 2. But the chances of that happening are slim, especially considering how the tiebreaker with the Jets works, based on strength of schedule. As it stands, the Raiders have an 80% chance to land that coveted top pick, which is a huge jump from the 40 to 62% estimates from last week. That's what Raider Nation wakes up to and gets excited about. But it's also important to understand that there are 7 games that could influence the strength of schedule tiebreaker if the Raiders win against the Chiefs. For fans wanting to navigate this maze, there are teams to root for and games to follow closely. The Falcons versus the Rams, the Cowboys versus the Giants, the Jaguars versus the Titans, the Bengals versus the Browns, the Lions versus the Bears, the Broncos versus the Chargers, and the Dolphins versus the Patriots all carry weight, depending on how outcomes unfold elsewhere. Controlling your own destiny is crucial, and even though rumors swirl around Kansas City and Andy Reid's future, the Raiders can still determine their path forward. Fans often worry, but it's vital to remember that this Raiders team has struggled mightily throughout the season. Since Week 1, after that opening win against New England, it's been a rough road with a 1-13 record, marking this as one of the worst Raiders seasons in recent memory. Yet there's a silver lining in the chaos. The path to securing the number 1 overall draft pick is clear if things fall into place, and the strength of schedule scenarios, while complex, are manageable if fans follow along and root for the right teams. Shifting focus to coaching, Pete Carroll's time with the Raiders appears increasingly tenuous. After the Giants game, his comments about having support from ownership were vague at best, and while communication may be strong, the performance on the field paints a different story. His reliance on phrases like, "we're communicating really well," highlights just how disconnected leadership has been from tangible results this season. The reality is stark. At 74 years old, Pete Carroll may simply be past the prime window to effectively lead a National Football League team. Reports suggest at least 2 owners are ready to move on, reflecting a consensus that change is necessary. Resting key players like Max Crosby, Brock, Jeremy Chin, and Colton Miller further signals that the front office is taking control, and these moves indicate a focus beyond coaching alone. Actions are speaking louder than words, and the direction of the team signals that the era of Pete Carroll is winding down. While he maintains good relationships internally and players respect him, performance metrics, and strategic decisions tell a different story. It's clear that Raider Nation has earned the right to root for just-win moments, celebrating victories where they come, but also understanding the hard truths about the current leadership and roster. On the quarterback front, Geno Smith's tenure with the Raiders is coming to a close. After a challenging season that included 17 interceptions, 19 touchdowns, and just over 3,000 passing yards, the decision to move on from Smith seems inevitable. His ankle sprain during the last game means he will not participate in the upcoming matchup against Kansas City, opening the door for Kenny Pickett to step in. This transition represents a turning point for the Raiders' quarterback position, and it underscores the organization's intention to make meaningful changes moving forward. Financial considerations also play a role in Smith's departure, as his contract structure incentivizes leaving or being released before certain dates to avoid bonus obligations. The Raiders' strategy is clear. The focus is on optimizing the roster and setting up for a strong draft position. Smith's departure will mark the end of an era, and while fans may have mixed feelings about his performance, the team's trajectory and commitment to improvement are paramount. Through all this, Raider Nation continues to demonstrate unmatched passion and dedication. From interactions on Super Chats to participation in community events, fans remain a core part of the team's identity. Celebrating victories, analyzing strategies, and anticipating the next moves in the offseason create a unique dynamic where excitement and critical assessment go hand in hand. The stage is set for a thrilling offseason, where draft decisions, coaching changes, and player movements will define the next chapter of Raider history. Raider Nation has reason to feel energized, hopeful, and fully engaged in shaping the team's future, knowing that each decision, each game, and each development brings them closer to long-term success. All right, Raiders fans, let's keep the momentum going and dive into the second part of our Raiders update, where the story gets even more interesting and the drama of the NFL season starts to shape the future of Las Vegas football. Picking up from the quarterback situation, Kenny Pickett is set to take the reins in the upcoming game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and this represents a major shift for the team. Pickett's previous outing against the Philadelphia Eagles ended in a tough loss, 31-0, but the potential for growth and adjustment is real. Raider Nation has high hopes that he can bring a spark to an offense that has struggled to find consistency all season long. The transition from Geno Smith to Pickett is more than just a roster move. It's symbolic of a larger effort by the front office to reset the direction of the team, to prioritize the long-term vision over short-term sentiment. Fans have been vocal about their frustrations, and the message from the front office is clear. Performance and potential dictate the path forward, not loyalty or legacy. Beyond the quarterback drama, the coaching situation is equally compelling. Pete Carroll's era with the Raiders is on its final chapters, and while he maintains strong relationships internally, the tangible results on the field tell a different story. The communication and leadership qualities he is praised for simply cannot mask a 2-14 record or a season where the team has consistently underperformed in nearly every metric that matters. The decision-making, both in-game and during the offseason, has been questioned, and the rest of the front office has stepped in to make moves that signal the organization's intent to reshape the team. Resting key players, evaluating draft positions, and strategically planning for the future all indicate that the Raiders are moving beyond Carroll's tenure. It's a transitional period, and while fans might have mixed emotions about letting go of a familiar face, the excitement for what comes next is palpable. The number 1 overall pick in the upcoming draft looms as a pivotal opportunity for Raider Nation to get the kind of talent that can change the franchise trajectory. Securing this pick requires careful observation of upcoming games, and while the tiebreakers and strength of schedule math can seem complex, the focus remains on controlling the destiny of the team. Wins and losses in other matchups, such as the Giants versus Cowboys or the Jets against the Bills, play a role in determining draft positioning, but the primary objective is clear: prepare for a draft that could define the next era of Las Vegas football. In the midst of all this, the fans continue to shine. Raider Nation has proven time and again that they are some of the most passionate, involved, and dedicated supporters in the league. Whether it's engaging in super chats commenting on shows, or rallying together online. The energy of the fan base is unmatched. Celebrating just-win moments, analyzing games with critical insight, and staying invested in the team's trajectory has made Raider Nation a force to be reckoned with. The community spirit, combined with a deep understanding of the game, ensures that fans remain connected to the team in ways that go beyond the scoreboard. Another critical aspect to consider as we move forward is the off-season strategy. The next few months will be filled with decisions that can reshape the Raiders' future. Trades, draft selections, and roster adjustments will all be under scrutiny, and the anticipation is already building. Fans are eager to see how the organization handles the quarterback position, coaching staff, and defensive adjustments. Every move will be analyzed, every development will be dissected, and Raider Nation will be watching closely to ensure that the team is moving in the right direction. Geno Smith's exit, for example, is not just a personnel change. It's a statement about the team's commitment to improvement. While Smith had a significant salary and some contractual leverage, the decision to move on reflects a focus on performance and long-term planning. The Raiders are prioritizing the future, and fans understand that sacrifices and tough decisions are part of building a successful franchise. Looking at the broader picture, the draft becomes the ultimate opportunity to reset and inject new talent into the roster. The number 1 overall pick could bring in a quarterback, defensive star, or game-changing offensive weapon. The potential impact of this draft selection cannot be overstated. Raider Nation is already imagining the possibilities and speculating on who could become the next face of the franchise. The anticipation is palpable, and every fan conversation seems to revolve around the draft and the transformational power it could have on the team. Alongside the draft, the coaching search will be an area of intense focus. Pete Carroll's departure will open the door for a new era, and the organization will need to identify a leader who can take the Raiders to the next level. Fans are eager for a coach who combines strategic insight, leadership ability, and the capacity to develop talent, particularly in key positions like quarterback and defense. The excitement surrounding potential coaching candidates, combined with the opportunities presented in the draft, sets the stage for a historic offseason. At the same time, Raider Nation's resilience and enthusiasm will be crucial. Fans have weathered tough seasons before, but their passion remains undiminished. The community's involvement, from social media engagement to game day experiences, ensures that the Raiders maintain a connection with their most devoted supporters. This energy will be vital as the team navigates changes, makes pivotal decisions, and prepares for a season that holds the promise of renewal and achievement. The story of the Raiders is one of highs and lows, of victories and challenges, and of a fan base that refuses to give up. As the team transitions through coaching changes, quarterback adjustments, and roster reshaping, the spirit of Raider Nation remains constant. The future is uncertain, but the potential is immense, and the next chapter promises to be filled with excitement, strategic decisions, and opportunities to celebrate the growth of the franchise. Every draft pick, every coaching hire, and every strategic move will be scrutinized, discussed, and celebrated by fans who live and breathe Raider football. The energy is electric, the anticipation is high, and the possibilities are endless. Raider Nation has never been more engaged, more invested, or more ready to witness the evolution of a franchise poised for a new era of success. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL rumor mill was set ablaze after whispers began circulating around the league that the Raiders may be preparing one of the most shocking moves in recent memory. Sources close to the organization suggest that DK Metcalf, widely regarded as one of the most physically dominant wide receivers in football, could be heading to Las Vegas in a blockbuster maneuver that has yet to be officially confirmed. While nothing has been signed or announced, the mere possibility has already sent defensive coordinators into quiet panic. Metcalf's profile fits perfectly with what the Raiders have been searching for: size, speed, intimidation, and star power. At 6'4" with rare acceleration, He has built a reputation as a matchup nightmare capable of turning routine plays into momentum-shifting explosions. League insiders speculate that the Raiders see him as the centerpiece of a new offensive identity, one designed to stretch the field vertically while forcing defenses to abandon comfortable coverage schemes. The silence from the front office has only fueled speculation. Executives around the league believe the Raiders are positioning themselves aggressively, willing to reshape their roster to land a true game-changer. Metcalf's potential arrival would not just be about statistics or highlights, but about altering how opponents prepare. Defensive backs would be forced into physical battles, safeties would be pulled deeper, and running lanes could suddenly appear where none existed before. Some scouts suggest this move could signal a philosophical shift, with the Raiders aiming to reclaim a reputation for boldness and unpredictability. Others wonder about the ripple effect inside the locker room, where adding a superstar of Metcalf's caliber could instantly elevate expectations and urgency. For now, the story lives in shadows, built on whispers, anonymous quotes, and careful smiles from those who know more than they are willing to say. Whether this rumor becomes reality or fades into off-season folklore, one thing is already clear. The idea of DK Metcalf in silver and black has captured the imagination of the NFL. If the Raiders truly pull this off, defenses across the league may soon be preparing for a new kind of terror. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.